Make holiday gatherings more delicious at Whole Foods Market. Whether you're the host or the guest who aims to impress, save now on baking essentials from 365 by Whole Foods Market. Need some extra help? Pick up crowd-pleasing flatbreads that are ready to heat, or build a lovely charcuterie board with sales on specialty cheeses and meats. Holiday wines and beers are also on sale, starting at $7.99. Host the perfect holiday party with Whole Foods Market. Must be 21 plus. Please drink responsibly.
Hey guys, welcome to this week's podcast episode. I'm really excited about today's guest, Chris Caravousanos. He's a coach that helps individuals find purpose in life, getting out of their way, and defining modern masculinity in coaching. So I'm happy to welcome him to the show. Chris, welcome.
Chris, man, thank you so much for having me. This is so important to me because I feel like it's so valuable to help other people, take what you learned and give that to others. So I really appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Yeah. So kind of tell people about your backstory. You run an online coaching business that focuses on mindset, nutrition, and fitness, and kind of talk about your background, your story, and we'll dive right into the conversation.
Yeah. So basically, we focus on mindset, nutrition, workouts, habitual reconstruction. So basically, what we do here is I focus on your habits, right? I have people that come in that are out of shape. I have people that come in who, struggle with depression, struggle with relationships, struggle mentally, insecurities. And we dive deep into what their deepest struggles are. And, I use fitness to help do that. And I also use other strategies that I personally use myself. Everything that I teach is I've done on myself, and I give that to other people. So it's amazing, man. It's one of the most rewarding things, and I love it. So it's really amazing to have someone come in, be out of shape, not have the habits in place that are going to get them the result. But here they are, so focused on the result, they're lost and they get discouraged. But the emphasis needs to be on the process it takes to get the result. The result will come, but what happens with the result is it's always moving. It's always changing. But if you just focus on being a good man each day with your habits, with the process, not only will you get the result, but you're going to change physically, and your personality is going to change. Your character changes, which is basically, that's fulfillment. That is reaching, that threshold. You could have money, but I know people with money that they struggle. They struggle with personal things, like the deep things, that really aren't really comfortable talking about. But those are the things that we get into, and it's very rewarding to bring that out of somebody where they were this insecure individual, but yet 3 months, 6 months later, they're a completely different human being, and they love it. So it's amazing.
Yeah, I love that. And why do you focus on the I know the answer, but I kind of want the audience to know, but why do you focus on the nutrition mindset, the body first, and not on like business or marketing or sales, all of that?
So what I do is I literally change their mindset around those specific things. So like if someone comes in and they're just like, they associate, that meal that they should be eating with negativity. They're eating that food and they're just like, their self-talk is off. They're like, oh, I hate doing this. Why am I eating this food? Why am I partaking in this? I'd rather have a pizza. I'd rather have my beer. And it's like, that's where you're messing up. You need to associate, like your high that you get from working out, that high vibration, that's where your self-talk matters. So when you're eating that meal, you have to tell yourself, no one's doing this like I'm doing it. This is helping me become the man that I want to be. This is helping me get my abs. This is helping me lose that gut. And you're telling yourself this. And as you're doing this positive act, you're stepping out in your mind's eye. You're looking at yourself doing this, and you're just like, I am doing what I said I was going to do. And that is where your validation comes from. So we're changing the way they think about these positive acts, getting yourself validated with the work, because the work instills the worth. The self-worth that people are lacking is coming from the work they're not doing. So that's what I teach my people is we got to get you dialed into the work, the process it takes, and everything else takes care of itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. And one interesting thing is, I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs, and one thing they say is that their body is basically, they focus on that because if their body's not working well, then they can't make good decisions. And if they're lazy in their habits, they're lazy in their, like, if they're lazy in their diet and they're lazy in their sleep and exercise, then they become lazy in their finances and become lazy in their relationships, and everything starts to unravel. So
yeah, across the board.
Yeah. So kind of one thing that is talking about is so these types of habits. What is the kind of the number one thing that you see in clients? Either they're lacking, or the importance of a morning routine, or certain habits that are very high impact. Very what I call leverage. It doesn't take much, but it produces a lot.
Yeah. So morning routine. I'm glad you mentioned that. Is super, super important. I really pride myself in my morning process. So the way it would start out is what I do is I get up early, right? It's different for everybody, the time that you wake up, a time that's hard for you to get up. You don't have to get up at 3, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. That's what I do. I get up at 5 in the morning. But the main thing is you want to get up early because getting up early is a sign of gratitude. It's a sign of gratitude for your day. It's a sign of gratitude for your life. Someone that sleeps in, someone that just doesn't really they always shut their alarm off. But the funny thing is, though, they're the people that tell themselves, I'm gonna get up early, I'm gonna, and then the alarm clock goes off, and then they're just like, no, I'm going back to bed, I don't want to do it. So it's this habit of breaking the promises to themselves, and what this does is it diminishes their self-worth. So now anything that they're trying to do gets affected by that. The relationship does suffer because they're a man that doesn't keep their word. If you're doesn't keep your word and you want your kids to listen to you, you want your wife to listen to you, why the hell should they if you can't even listen to you? You suck at being you. You have to get good at being you, and that transfers over to everything else. It starts with you. It's funny because I talked about this the other day on my story, and I was just like, you guys need to check yourself. It's not your woman's job to check you. Checking you means being accountable for your own actions. When you are accountable for your own actions, your relationships are better. You will feel better about you, which is ultimately what we're after. And it's just starts to change. So I know I'm getting a little off topic, but morning routine. So the first thing is we get up early. You pick a time, you commit to that time. Once you get up early, I go right into my physical activity to get my blood oxidation levels up. Because what happens is in the morning, it's pretty much impossible to wake up smiling. It's impossible to wake up laughing because our blood oxidation level is pretty much low. It's like almost zero. So we need to get that oxygen up. The way we do that is with physical activity. So I'm banging out push-ups. It could be any exercise. So we get up early, we bang out push-ups. I would shoot for as many as you can. The main thing, though, is to get yourself that mental clarity, get yourself ready for the day. Right after we do that, we go into self-reflection. So I usually go into, you could have a journal, and you write down, things that you want to be better at today that you didn't do yesterday. 3 things. It could be anything. After that, I like to open up a quote book. I like the philosophers, Marcus Aurelius, Plato, Socrates. It gets the wheels turning, and I like to post a picture of that for my audience, so I'll get them thinking right. And right after we do that, we go right into a workout. So I work at a gym as well, so I'm a personal trainer. I'll hit the gym, I'll crush a workout, and then I'm right into my clients. I train them, and I take that energy that I got from getting up early, I got from my push-ups, I got from my self-reflection, I got from my workout, and now I'm ready to crush the day. I stacked these little wins that people don't see. And now I take that person that I've just built and I give that to everybody else. Because you're you're not supposed to just be handed these emotions. You're not supposed to just be feeling happy all the time and feeling at peace. I don't even look at happiness. I look at peace. I want self-acceptance. I want me knowing that I did everything I could to be a good man today. That's it.
Make holiday gatherings more delicious at Whole Foods Market. Whether you're the host or the guest who aims to impress, save now on baking essentials from 365 by Whole Foods Market. Need some extra help? Pick up crowd-pleasing flatbreads that are ready to heat, or build a lovely charcuterie board with sales on specialty cheeses and meats. Holiday wines and beers are also on sale, starting at $7.99. Host the perfect holiday party with Whole Foods Market. Must be 21 plus. Please drink responsibly.
Really interesting. I love this idea because one thing I've been experimenting with is in the morning these very intense sprints, like 2-minute sprints, or just like you're seeing your VO2 max is like increasing it, and then like in the morning, especially, you do a huge sprint workout, and then you do a cold shower. Man, you're like feel energized, you feel clear, like your mental clarity. So that's really helped a lot. And
Exactly.
and then, yeah. And then talking about, for example, where you're talking about integrity is like, one thing, my litmus test is if people can't show up on time, then if they're lazy with time, then basically they, then that's kind of a sign of no integrity. If they can't respect people's time, and they don't carry out and follow through what they say they're going to do. So that's kind of one thing, is if they show up late and consistently late, that's kind of a sign that, they lack, there are other areas where they're lacking. So
100%.
So one thing you talked about is, masculinity, and men are soft nowadays. And, I talk to, female clients, whatever, they say like men are weak, and kind of talk about that.
Oh, man. So the thing is when you're talking about, I mean, here's me, right? I can only offer my experience. So what happens is, as a little kid, right, I never had a physical role model as a man, right? As a dude that I could be like, I want this. I want to be like this. You know what I mean? But what I did see was these movies growing up, I would watch movies with The Rock, all, these action movies, as a little kid, they're in shape, they're ripped, they got this character about them that's confident, they have integrity, they treat people with respect. Those are the individuals that I was like, holy shit, this is who I need to be. It's the whole thing. Why not have the body? Why not have the work ethic and the kindness and respect you give to people? Why not be across the board? And when you are living your life this way, things stand out to you that you're just like, I need to drop this. I need to drop this vice. So here you are hitting the gym, 3 to 4 days a week. You're getting okay results. You're eating somewhat okay. You're not counting your calories, but you're somewhat okay. And you go home after work and you start drinking alcohol, Is that really what they should be doing? That individual should be doing? Does it leave them with regret? That's the biggest thing. I like to say that when you regret something, that is pretty much your conscious telling you need to drop this. So when you live this way, women notice it, men notice it, everyone notices it. But the main thing, though, is you're able to give that to them, is what the main driver is. Because the men that are suffering in their relationships, they aren't keeping their promises to themselves. And they'll raise their voice at their woman. They will shut down, have no confidence, have no interest in their things that they want to do, maybe. And it affects the relationship. And the woman's like, are you okay? And the guy will never, in most cases, it's hard for the man to be like, I was up late crying last night because I hated the fact that I've been doing these things for over a year now. And it's hard for most guys to open up and be vulnerable and do that. Thing though is that's also why I say you have to do that for you. It's not her job to bring that out of you. You have to handle your own shit. And when you do that, you will get that respect from her. If it's not there, you will get that self-confidence, self-worth in yourself if it's not there. And that's it. And your relationship can get better, but in some cases, your relationship can But in a good way. You could actually see, because you have this mental clarity from keeping the promises to yourself, you
Mm-hmm.
can see if this person is a good fit for you or not. So it can
Mm-hmm.
go either way, honestly, because when you live in congruence with your conscience, things become a
Mm-hmm.
lot more clear. That's what I've found.
Yeah, it's and I love that. It's there was one of the clients I was working with, she was saying that if you don't have your life in order, like your finances or your diet, your nutrition, don't get into any relationship, because it's just gonna magnify all of the, you're gonna attract a codependent partner, or like you're just gonna get yourself into unhealthy situations. And but once you have your life in order, then it's kind of like tuning then you can like find a healthy relationship, somebody, not somebody that, leeches off of you, but helps support you. And I love that idea where it's like when you're living in congruence, you can see what is bad for you, what's good for you, and you can avoid those. You can be proactive and just, you say, no, I'm not going to get myself into that situation. So
I'm not a relationship expert, but I do know one
yeah.
thing for sure, and that is you cannot love somebody else and give them your heart if you don't love yourself. If you're not giving that to yourself. I can't give you what I don't have. Like I need to possess that within myself, because a quote that I love is, those that don't reflect project. I'm going to project all of my shit onto you if I haven't dealt with it. So that's something to be aware of, because it shows that you need accountability with yourself. It's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I love this. It's really fascinating. Really, you got a lot of gems and a lot of experience. And then kind of talk about this. As we kind of end the conversation, one thing was talking about hitting breaking points or low points, and the turning point that made you say, "I'm ready to go in all of myself." And then your passion for coaching others, and what keeps you motivated.
Yeah, so I was a baseball player. I was very big into baseball my entire life, and what happened was I had this internal drive to help other people and get more into the fitness realm, get into more bodybuilding.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually a very skinny kid,
Mm-hmm.
and I was working out in the gym. I was getting good results, but the main thing though that was happening was I was stuffing down the emotions and the things that I wanted to do in order to appease other people around me, in my life. And I was physically good at baseball, so that was also making it difficult. But the main thing though is I didn't have the confidence to be like, I don't need this anymore. I'm ready to move on to other things that I want for myself. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a breaking point that happened was I've never ever gotten cut from a team with a try.
Mm-hmm.
Team captain, high school, MVP. For those of you that know baseball, pretty much batted over 500 like the entire year, for pretty much the whole time I was in high school. I actually was trying out for my college team, and this was just years up until leading to this point, and I was just like losing my fire. I was losing my fire for just even being there, and
Mm.
I bombed the tryout. It sucked. I hated it, and I was sloppy. I was slow, sluggish, and
Mm-hmm.
I got cut, and I was like, all right, so here I'm faced with two paths. I can keep going down this road that I really don't even want to go down, or I can make my way out right here. So I made my way out. I got certified, started going absolutely crazy with my workouts, everything. Went all in on myself, and it really was a blessing in disguise, because had I not gotten cut, I would have played that season. And like I had to just make my way out. That's why I
Mm.
stress the importance of personal development also, because you have to have that within your life so that you have that clarity to do what's best for you. It also
Mm.
back to relationships too. If it goes that way, it goes that way. If it goes this way, it goes this way. You need to have that clarity that you gain from the work that you do and yourself.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, personal development helped me too. I was, basically trying to appease my parents and try to appear successful. And it's like you said, money can actually. I've been watching this really interesting character, over the holidays, and he's talking about like all the money in the world makes him even a more miserable person, and just kind of you have to have that clarity to see it and say this is not the right path, and then kind of take that courage. Really, I love your work. How can people follow you, contact you, reach out to you, check out your work, etc.?
Yeah, Instagram, just my name, Chris.Caravousanos.
Yeah.
Chris.Caravousanos. And TikTok is I actually have a clothing brand. It's called Fate's Motive. Facebook, Chris Caravousanos, same thing. And you guys will see when you follow me, you can see on my story every single day, I will be demonstrating all of this. You will see my morning routine. You will see my daily process. This is what kept me in alignment with myself and continues to help me grow every day. And I lead by example. You have to show people. So
Yeah,
I love this, man. This is great. Thank you so much for having me too. This is I love this.
yeah. That's why I love social media. You can follow people. It's kind of like the new Rolodex, and you can see their progression and kind of get inspired. For all the audience out there listening, Chris, for a wonderful discussion. I really enjoyed it. A lot of points resonated, and be sure to follow him TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. And with that, thanks so much for coming onto the podcast.
Thank you. Take care, guys.